Hello everybody. Hi Lane, I'm glad that you made it. And I hope that the weather is better wherever you are. I thought of showing you a short example of what you can do with UV resin and mica powders. And for this I'm going to actually use, as I said, this is the only heart one that I have, but you can use with any other hearts, and I could use a different one just to show you the whole effect, but we are going to do a heart. That's it. Hello Semaville, it's first time I see you here. So let's do the first part. So what I'm going to do, because we are talking hearts, I'm going to use interference violet. Hi, sweet pea. I'm going to use, hold on, let me get my eyeglasses. Duo red blue, and I'm going to use, I think this is pink flamingo. Yeah, flamingo pink. But you can use other colors, and it doesn't really have to be a heart, right? You can do whatever other stuff you have. Hi, Christina. So what I'm going to do first is, it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but if you want to get that the specific result that I'm trying to show you, you will have to do it this way. So what I'm going to do is grab a little bit of clay, scrap clay. You don't need to do anything different, and I'm going to set it on my UV lamps thing here. And then I'm going to place this, actually let me make it a little bit taller. And you can also use a piece of tape if you want to make sure that your thing doesn't start running around. You can tape it like here. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. So first you use, what the heck? First we are going to use a little bit of resin here, and that's the whole thing that is a little bit more time consuming. And I'm going to try and make it more straight line if possible. And get it without messing it up in the UV light. Now if you have one of those UV flashlights, you can use it, because all you need is to simply harden the top layer. You don't have to do anything else, just the top layer of it. So gonna have to wait a few minutes, and doing it ahead of time would have been a little bit hard. You can imagine that, because I wouldn't have been able to show you how to do these specific things. But you don't have to go through the whole time to for it to be perfectly hard, you know. And sorry if I seem to have something in my throat. The truth is, I usually don't drink for at least an hour before a live, so I don't have to interrupt myself to go to the bathroom, because that wouldn't be a light, right? Okay, so I have part of this, then I'm going to place it the other way so that I have some stuff here. And there is a reason for all this. Remember that the whole idea of the tutorial is shimmering. So in order to get our shimmering effect, and you don't have to do it in a specific way, in a specific type, just make sure that you have at least 2 areas where your resin is not flat but is a little bit like this. Hi Sharon. Because that is very, very, very important. So that your resin would not be completely flat, that it would be a little bit at an angle. So you have to have at least 2 areas where your resin is at an angle. You can make more than 2 to start with. It depends on the size of your mold, obviously. And then for the next thing that I'm going to do, this is a super, super thin paintbrush. And what I actually did, because to buy a super, super thin paintbrush, well, it costs a lot of money. I mean, they are very expensive, the good quality super thin paintbrushes. So what I did, I actually got a thinner paintbrush that was a decent, cheaper price, and then I just trimmed it. So I would be left with only a few of these things. Another thing that you can use is one of the silicone tipped, you know, the stuff that like this but with the round, hold on, it's over here. Oops. This one that is completely, that are sculpting tools, and you get the one that's pointy tipped. So this should be done too. Now at this point I'm going to remove my temporary highliner, and I'm going to grab the interference violet and my eyeglasses so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to grab a little tiny, let's see, and I'm going to make little dots. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in enough so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, you can see now. So I am just simply making little dots. And these will be very, very delicate and if you ask, oh, but can't we get this effect with glitter? Not really, because you would see the glitter. Well, these you would only see when the light refracts on them. So it's a very different effect. Now the next part is the most delicate. Trying to get as many as I can without getting them to touch each other. And you see I'm using the silicone tipped sculpting tool. Just, hey Carrie, how late is it in Australia where you are? No, I'm completely out of, sorry. It's kind of hard to see. I really need to establish with Elaine a method of audio communication during the live so she can yell at me. You're out of camera. Okay, now we have this, and I'm going to leave this. Let's get out of the zoom. Hey. Oh goodness. So it's morning by now, huh? And now it's the most delicate thing that you need to do now is to pour some resin without disturbing those little dots. Okay, so you start in the middle and just let it go wherever it wants to. And why didn't I do this before? Because you need to have the separate angled ones and flat ones. So we are going to wait again for about a minute. No, I did not hear you. We really, as I said, we really need to do something like that. I can start wearing headphones and Bluetooth my phone. That should work, huh? Or go on Messenger and I can get the Messenger sound to the headphones versus anything else. Yeah, what time is in Romania? It's 8 in the, almost 9 in the evening, huh? Hi Darla. Yeah, it looks a little bit like the whole weather thing is a little, let me check here, a little better. Checking the winter. We only have some winter stuff in Nevada and some California and a little bit Arizona. But nothing lower, in the lower states, nothing anymore. We have, and no severe thunderstorms, so we are good. You know, in this respect, we are good. I personally prefer the Chinese brands and don't think that they are different, even if they have different labels. The whole composition is the same. Yeah, I know, it's summer. Okay, so this should be good. And now I'm going to real quick do some of these on the so-called flat thing. But you've seen what I'm doing. Yeah, we are pretty good right now. We are at, let me see, 36, so 4 degrees above freezing. That's good. That's nice. Okay, so And besides, don't forget, I don't know if you've watched my any of my other tutorials, but the Chinese UV resin, you can bake it, so. No, I didn't use this, I used this. I was like, why doesn't it go smaller? So you've already seen what I'm doing, so I don't need to do it anymore on close-up. Just drawing tiny little, they are not dots, they are more like tiny lines. Hi, Lianka. How you doing, girl? We are supposed to have rain here starting possibly Wednesday, but definitely Thursday. Now again, this is something I didn't try before, so it's a trial. Let's see how this looks like. Okay, now again, this will be a little bit delicate. You are not allowed to actually swirl, because remember, this is powder, so you don't want it to get mixed instead of staying in place. So I'm gently pouring to get the whole area covered up. Just making sure that it goes all the way to the edge. Okay. Just a tiny bit here. Alrighty. Good now. And I'm going to do just a little bit, use just a little bit my okay, so now we go for a full curing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, maybe. But don't forget that in Australia only about, I don't know, I think not even 10% of the land is habitable. It's like a huge, by what I know, it's like a huge desert hill, and only on the coast you have. And it's like everything is trying to kill you. Isn't that? Yeah, I don't think you missed a lot. I just showed how to do inclined, couple inclined areas in the mold, and then do those little dots with interference violet. And again, you can use other colors. That's not just for a heart, but this is just for the whole Valentine madness. So I'm using a heart, but you can use this with other colors and other combinations. And the whole idea is to have the same color but different hues, one darker and one lighter. Oh no, do not compare Florida in things that might kill you with Australia, because I am sure that Australia beats Florida by a long run. It's not. Okay, now I can turn this upside down for now, just to make sure that it gets better hardening. Okay, but just to keep you entertained, I saw that some of you are watching, and I need to remind you that I do have a full playlist. If you go to my channel and you look at playlists, I have a full playlist only on making hearts and Valentine's Day hearts. And there are some already uploaded videos that are, you know, the shortened version of a tutorial, and some live videos. And starting the 1st of February, I probably won't I might do one more Valentine's theme, but then it's going to be too late for Valentine's. So it's going to still be a little bit too far from spring, so we'll do some no theme things, and then we'll start with spring, obviously, and hopefully by March my whole situation will have solved one way or another, and then I won't be so stressed, and I will be able to finally work on stuff, because yeah, my whole sleeping problems are due to that, because I would finally fall asleep, and then within 5 minutes I wake up, the whole thing comes hitting me. Okay, I think we are done. All right, so let's see what we solved for now. What we have for now. Doesn't look like a big deal, right? We just have these things that show and kind of disappear. Now you can simply do this on black or on another color, but you can see how they show differently. They can appear and disappear. You can do it a completely different color. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get the back of it. Okay, so this is the front, but I'm going to get the back of it, the way that it was sitting in the mold. And what I'm going to do is, using this time a more, not very big, but more normal, and I don't want to use this because I'd rather clean this than have it go wonky. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to take the light colored mica and get it in the middle of everything. And you don't want it to be too thick. And then I'm going to get the darker colored mica. The stronger color. Yeah, but you don't have bodybuilder kangaroos. Let me see if this is good, or if I want a different color. It might not be dark enough. And you see I do have that line that's lighter in the very middle. And I'm going to insist a little bit more with the lighter one, but first blow on it. And the good thing is that once it is set there, you can look at it to make sure that it is what you want. Oops. And wipe real good the paintbrush and do a little bit of blending at this edge where you have the in between the light and the dark. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit even more light. I know you'll say it doesn't leave a lot of, yeah, I know it doesn't leave a lot of stuff, but it's enough to make it look the way you want it to look. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. And it is indeed shimmering. We will do a close-up after I get it all nice and set. And again, start in the very middle and keep adding in the middle, because your little heart will have a lip, and what you want to do is to fill it to the lip. You don't want to have it too thick, obviously, but you don't want to drag the mica to the point that it would get mixed in the... It's going to be a very delicate thing. Well, yeah, I would imagine that in certain areas of Australia it's better than in others. I mean, I could say that Oklahoma is trying to kill you all over the place, because we got scorpions, we got rattlesnakes, we got black widows, we got recluse, we got the tura plants and a lot of other kind of plants. Okay, so this should be it. Now let's gently put it in. Oh, come on. There we go. I need to take out my UV lamp from under there and see what's going on. I think something might be in the sensor, because it started not turning on properly when I put something in there. So we will wait now for it to get properly. Now, remember that I did, and you might want to, let me see. Okay, I showed you before in a live how to do okay, this is not what I wanted. How to do a full labradorite effect using the same principle of different angles of the resin, and I am linking it to you. You can do that for hearts as well. Let me actually show you a few. The latest. No, this one. I don't want this. of the results. And this is how they look like, but then if you want them to look like labradorite, you have to put a black clay on the bottom. I might even have one here, I'm not sure. I don't. But these are the effects that you can see the difference when it is on black. So yeah, this is how it would look. So you can try this effect on hearts as well. So let's get this and see how it looks like. And yes, I'm going to do a close-up. Let's see. Let me refocus this. First, before I refocus, you can see how it's all shimmery. And let's go in a close-up. It's too close up. See how sometimes it would disappear completely, those little dots? And it is not like glitter, because the glitter you can see it all the time, but these will show only from certain angles, depending on what was the angle of the resin you painted it on. So you can even make earrings with this. And of course I use the violet, but you can use excuse me, any of the interference colors. Yeah, but you cannot really do the galaxy effect in UV resin. You need the other type of resin, the two-part resin, for a galaxy effect. Remember that for the galaxy effect you need some inclusions that sometimes are not entirely transparent, and the UV resin needs light in order to cure. So if you put any kind of inclusions in it that do not let light go through, then your resin will not cure. This is why you need, I know that a lot of people do not like the two parts resin because you have to wait much longer to see your final thing, your final result. But because of the fact that UV resin needs light, there are some inclusions that you cannot really use in UV resin properly if you want to get certain effects, especially like when we are talking about, you've all seen probably coasters with that look like geodes. Well, to do those, most of the stuff that's right on the edge is not transparent enough to let enough light go through, so the resin would be cured. The other problem is that I don't know if you're aware, but as the two parts resin is of two kinds, it is the more liquid and more viscous. So is the same for UV resin. Most of the UV resin, if it does not have anything specified on the label, it's going to be the more viscousy kind. So it will be thicker, more like a honey. And for certain effects, you don't want stuff more like honey, you want stuff more like milk. So yeah, you can try obtaining a galaxy effect with UV resin, but if you want to do the real deal, you will need the two parts resin. Okay, so we got the shimmers. Actually, there's not just one kind of 2 parts resin. Give me just a second and I shall show you. If you look in my okay, if you look in my influencer store, Amazon influencer store, look for the resin kits. And the way that this is arranged, unfortunately this is in the very beginning because I couldn't, you can see that there's not just epoxy resin, there's also polyester resin. And I put this book here because it's quite important to understand how to work with it. And it's a reason why. See, you have the polyester cast resin. So I don't know why you would stay away from epoxy resin. Epoxy resin is less harmful, has less fumes than the UV resin. But yeah, you can see all kinds of and there's also fiberglass resin, which you might want to try. Fiberglass, yeah, I think I need to look for another one. But fiberglass resin is what is used, for example, for surfboards, you know, and stuff that generally gets in contact with water to protect surfaces. And that's why it's a little bit more liquid than the epoxy one, and even than the polyester one. But just try it. And as I said, in my personal opinion, epoxy resin is less harmful than the UV resin. The UV resin, I don't know if you noticed, normally when I work with it, I don't do that on my live because it's a very short time, but normally when I work with UV resin, I would put on a mask, because especially when you have to be closer to it, you will inhale those fumes, and you think it doesn't. Trust me, it does. You might not be able to smell them, but all UV resin has fumes. And it also releases fumes when you cure it. That's why you need to cure it in a well ventilated area. But there's that. So I hope you tried this experiment, and even if you don't want to bother with the little dots, try the experiment with creating a gradient band. Okay, this is the top. Creating a gradient band, because you see, this is how you get this super shimmery effect, which is really interesting. And then you get the little dots on top of that. So I hope you have a wonderful week to come, and I'll be trying to focus on things and finish things without getting all, anxiety attack and having to drop everything. Thank you. Have a wonderful time. Don't forget to use my influencer store. Don't forget to give me thumbs up and post a comment even after the live is over, when it's just uploaded, because it helps bring up my my videos to be shown to other people on the recommended side. Okay, thank you so much, and have a wonderful Sunday.